Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz, October 3, 2018, 11:21 p.m. Birmingham. Topic: do you believe we're going to see martial law here in the United States? If you do, raise your hand. Join me. I believe it. And the reason is, you know how crazy and crazier the left are getting, the liberals. Look, when you take a group of people, I don't care how they react, but when they go inside a cafeteria or a place where a family's eating that clearly is a conservative or a Republican, and badger them, then we have problems. If they get by with it now, it's going to be really bad later. And it's going to be so bad that the cops can't keep up with it. There's no way. You can't have one or two cops go to every place that a person's eating, because when Kavanaugh is sworn in, you're going to see an outburst from the top, and it's going to radiate downward. In other words, all the goons are going to come out. And you can't have police going to every location, because there's going to be thousands of locations where there are going to be problems. And I'm talking about just like they did in Missouri, when they started burning buildings and cars and ransacking everything inside. That's going to happen, but 10 times worse. There will be killings. I'm telling you up front, there will be murders. And all because of the evil agenda that is carried by the left and the media and everything that is liberal. They have an agenda, and they're already under it. That's what we have Trump for, to keep us from Agenda 21. But it's here. Just found out for the first time that Comey today that he is already communist. Did you know that? Struck. He's already, well, I can't tell you he's communist, but he is die-hard socialist. And what is the next step? Well, your foot's in the door of communism if you're a socialist. Guys, when Kavanaugh is sworn in, is going to go crazy. I'm telling you. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There are 50,000, get this, 50,000 people could be arrested effective immediately after the November elections and the swearing in of those elected. The minute they're sworn in, because the Republican conservative side will clearly outweigh the liberal left and the Democrats by a wide majority. And this is going to just piss them all off. And what they do from there, it'll only take martial law to stop them. Let me tell you a little bit about martial law. If you live 20 miles away from a city and you go to a store at 8:30 at night, you're out of the city, okay? You are not likely to be bothered. But if you're in a city, or either in any, like in Birmingham, Alabama, we have a place called Elec, Roebuck, Central City, East Birmingham, North Birmingham. And then you have touching outlying areas, Gardendale, Fultondale, Tarrant City, Trussville, And then you work your way to the south. And then you have Bessemer. Then you have Hoover. You have Vestavia. You have Mountain Brook. These cities are not part of Birmingham, but they're all touching Birmingham. They're going to be included in this martial law. When you get 20 miles away from that, the less likely you'll be able to see any of these things. But don't you think for a moment that these idiots will go beyond these boundaries or territories of adjacent cities. They will. But I would be more afraid of the inner city than I would 20 miles away. And if you're a cop, make sure you have your badge in your pocket, on duty, off duty, all the time. If you are a former cop, you're still sworn in if you still have a badge, and I do. Make sure you carry it with you all the time, everywhere you go. City employees, and I'm talking about firemen, make sure that you have your credentials with you all the time, everywhere you go. It's highly likely that these guys, and I'm talking about the medics on the bunch of the firemen, they're going to be busy. I did a blog back in 2006 of a dream my daughter had. And guys, that dream reads exactly what could be happening effective the minute martial law is called. And it will be called. It will be called. It'll have to be, to bring some sort of order into the chaos and out of order that you can imagine it. And I urge you to pay attention to what's going on around you at all times, who's around you, and if there's a curfew at 9 p.m., make sure you're in the doors and behind a closed door, locked door at 9 p.m. And more than likely, it may be a little earlier than that. Guys, I just want to warn you, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying it's highly likely that it is going to happen. My bet, it will. And the reason is simply one thing. The liberals have gone nuts. And they've already started that. It's been proven. You see it, you've heard it. So I urge you to get ready. But it won't last long. There'll be the military tribunals. Let me tell you about military law versus civilian law. Civilian law, you go to court. Have you got an attorney? No, I hadn't. Well, we'll assign you an attorney, then you come back in 3 weeks. Military courts, if there's 100 assigned to that day, there'll be 100 will be going through, attorney or not. The military court will take you, and they're done with you in about 30 minutes' time, and give me the next. This is what they do. They'll go through 100 a day per court, whereas Birmingham, Alabama may go through 30 a day, but 25 of those are put off for another 2 or 3 weeks. Military court, they don't screw around. Be ready. Shorty Wolf Expoz.